Oh, I just said, I can't see who it
I
is.
said, it's Wong.
Who is it? Okay.
Ready?
You can't see it, I can't remember.
And you can't hear.
All set, Sheila?
I
Al,
think so.
Okay.
you have to do
I
it.
hope so.
Okay, we're gonna get back to business here. Most of you were here last time to hear our speaker, and we thank him very much for coming again, Ed and Amy. This is Ed Wong, and he's gonna be talking today about the jewels of the Adriatic, part 2. Ed, go ahead.
Hello, thanks for coming again. Today I'm going to continue with my talk, part 2. For those not here last time, just quickly go over this. Amy and I took this trip in 2015 with 8 of our friends. And the tour was offered by Smart Tool, even though I didn't put it down on here. Okay, it contained 12 buffet breakfasts, 7 dinners, and the tour now costs $2,400 without the airfare, and then including round trip from Philadelphia, it would be $3,300. In this presentation, I will go according to the itinerary of our tour and then point out some interesting things and pictures of each location we visited. Right now, Croatia belongs to the European Union, and they just implemented using the euro in January this year. So they're no longer using kuna. But at that time it was about $1 to $6.86 for kunas. Our tour guide Elvis Kodelik, and he is very knowledgeable and very familiar with the local history and politics. Can easily be a professor. He talks all the time. His mom is a very super Elvis Presley fan, so that's why she named him Elvis.
Vibration.
Oh, yeah.
Vibration.
I don't know. Okay.
That's better.
We went to Cliff Beach.
Where is it? Okay, here's the route map that we have, and for last time, oopsie, we talked about this part in part 1, so we're not going to talk about this time. So part 2 is we left Opedia and passed through Sand and then to this national park, and then subsequently went down to Dubrovnik for 4 nights over there. So I'll follow this itinerary and show you pictures and things around each locations. Oops. Okay, here's a tour highlight, which I'm not going to spend time on now. You can check it out when Shura upload the PowerPoint to the website. And I'm going to talk about all this location anyway, so. Okay, so in the morning we left Opedia and we stopped by this town, Sand. It's about halfway between Opedia and this Philvice Lakes National Park, and for a comfort stop. Our tour guide said there's no public restroom over there, so asked us to buy a drink in some of the cafes to help out the local economy and use their bathrooms. So we parked the bus next to the town, and then we walk in and looking for our cafe. and we finally find one. All these are from our tour group, and that's Amy drinking some coffee, and we use the bathroom. So after the pit stop, we went to this Paradise Lake National Park. This particular park is in the central Croatia area, known for a chain of 16 terraced lakes. If you count it, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so forth. All the way down to here is around 12 terraced lakes. And then there are waterfalls and extended into the limestone canyons. And then there are walkways across the waterway here, and you can enjoy the sceneries. And then there's an electric boat that you can cross the lake to the other region of the park to look around. So the park was established in 1949, and in the UNESCO site in 1979. Our hotel is right inside the park there. So Hotel Jesoro. We stay there for one night. In the morning, the bus drop us off around here, and then we start our tour in this area. This particular website is pretty useful if you go by yourself, and show you how you can the different route that you can do to enjoy the scenery over there. So here's a cross section of the park with different terraces. Okay, here's a picture of the waterfalls, cascade, and there's this wooden walkway crisscrossing the river here. You can enjoy the scenery. When we were there, we was before the tourist season, so it's not very crowded. The tour guide said if it's about maybe 2 or 3 weeks later, this will be jam-packed with tourists, and you can hardly stop and take pictures. So don't go during the full season. So there's another picture showing the waterfalls. The scenery is very similar in a way to the Adriatic National Park in China, in the northern part of Sichuan. But I think Adriatic is even prettier than this place because there are more variety of various kind of waterfalls over there. But in any case, it's a very tranquil area, very scenic. You can walk across this pathway, enjoy the sceneries. And showing a lot of people walking around. That's Amy going up this way, and there are a lot of this kind of waterfall, and it's me taking pictures by someone. So Amy, and then waterfall everywhere, and the waters are very clear and a lot of fish over there. So these are some of our dinner that night.
What kind of fish?
Trout, I don't know. Some are super big. Okay, this is a picture showing we are taking the boat right from one end of the lake to the other to look at the other area. While we were sitting around resting, this lady fell backwards and bumped her head. So they called the paramedic and take her somewhere, I don't know where, but finally she was okay, you know. And then these are some of our friends. waiting for the boat to take us back to across the lake so that we can go back to our hotel. So it's very enjoyable day walking around among these waterfalls. Here's our dinner that night with a trout and then another waterfalls. Okay, so the next day we keep going south to Sadar. It's the oldest continuous inhabited city in Croatia. Population 75,000. Fifth largest city in Croatia. Known for the Roman Venetian ruins in this peninsula old town, which is this part of the area. Here's a picture. The bus dropped us off somewhere around here, and then we walk into the old town, this area. Oh, looks like it's running out of battery or something. Okay, this particular picture showed looking from this end, and here's the University of Sadar. We didn't go into this area. We're mainly in the old town area. So, okay, there's a couple points of interest over there. This particular one area is called the sea organ. It has some pipes underneath the water here and then come up into this area. Oops, I think it's running out of battery or something. Okay, so when the water rushes into the pipes, it will create some kind of sound, noise, or you can say that. But it's different pipes, different length, different size, give you different notes. So it will woo, woo, and so forth. So it's kind of haunting sound. Okay. The other one is they call the Greeting of the Sun Monument. It consists of a 22-meter diameter circle with the voltaic cells underneath. So it collects the sun energy during the day, and then in the nighttime it will light up like this. People enjoyed it. It's pretty neat looking. So then we walked into the old town. This is the St. Dom's Church, built in 9th century. In this area is the old Roman Forum. Right now it's only a few columns left, you know. And then around town there's a lot of Roman ruins. The town is built under around these underground ruins. So this particular is they call it 5 wells square. There are 5 wells over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it's for drinking water used during the Ottoman invasion, built in 1574. A picture of Amy standing right in front of the Sadar city wall. And then this is another city gate. It's called the Rendsburg.
Republic.
Oh, yeah. Republic of Venice. Above it is a gate, the city gate. And it was during the, it's a switch. Oh, okay. All right. Thanks. Okay, good. It was during lunchtime, so we look around for a cafe to have lunch. As you can see, it's not very crowded because it's pre-season, not the tourist season yet. And after lunch, Amy, it's ice cream time, so she's buying some ice cream. Okay, after that, we bought our bus and keep going south. This is another town Troji. It's a pretty old town, 2,300 years old. Greek, Roman, and Venetian historic town and harbor. About 17 miles north of Split. Population is 13,500. And also in the UNESCO list of World Heritage Sites for its Venetian architectures and part of the medieval city wall, pretty intact over here. And I took this picture from a postcard stand. You can see the rack here. I show the old town. And we walk around the old town here, this area, and the old city wall. And there's a picture of the Troji, and this is the St. Lawrence Church and the city wall. And this particular one is the St. Bastian Church, 1476. It's also a town square where the town function taking place over there. This particular church is St. John's the Baptist. It's only with one bell left now, so all these are broken and dropped down somewhere, you know. Yeah. Okay, the picture showing the fortress is built in 15th century, and there's another city gate. And we walk around the old town, and we notice that a lot of folks hanging their laundry outside to dry in Troji. But it's not like in Hong Kong that we use the bamboo poles sticking out the windows. They have a very sophisticated pulley system, and from the window and the line across the street over there on the other side, and then they can just pull the string back and collect the laundries. So it's pretty good, pretty cool. Save some energies. Okay, after that we continue south to Split. This is the hotel we stay in, Radisson Blu Hotel. We stay there for one night. These guys are loading our luggage, and we are sitting inside the lobby waiting for our keys. And the furnitures are all in blue because it's Radisson Blu. That night we have our group dinner in a nearby restaurant together with another two groups. So after the dinner, there's a guy playing accordions and guitar, and we did line dancing around the restaurants. And that's some fun, so it's pretty interesting. Okay, the next day we visited Split. This is a panoramic view of the town of Split. Split is second largest city in Croatia, the largest city in the Dalmatia and the Croatian coast. Population 176,314. The Diocletian Palace, this area, was built in 305 AD by Roman Emperor Diocletian. He's from 245 AD to 312 AD. He gave up his throne voluntarily due to poor health, and then he retired in this Split Palace in 305 AD. So the next day we visited this area. There are a lot of cruise ships stopped by here, and then go into this palace to look around. Okay, this particular picture is showing the original palace, how it looked like during that time, right on the waterfront. Since then, they probably landfill some of this area, and it becomes looking like this, with a lot of the building gone, with some remaining ruins inside. Here's the west entrance that we went into the old town. Diocletian is the Roman emperor from this period, and he changed the government and economic reform to help Roman recover from the crisis during the 3rd century. So he was a very good emperor. And he also implemented the rule of 4 of the Roman Empire in 2093. Basically, he divided the Roman Empire into 4 regions, and each one has its own emperor, all under him. So he is the big boss. But later in 476 AD, the Western Rome Empire collapsed by taken over by the nation of Germanic people from the northeast. But the Western Roman Empire actually lasted for a long time, from 800 BC to 500 AD. And it took another 1,000 years for the Eastern Roman Empire to collapse, like the Tsar in the Russia area. Here's the bust of the emperor. He's a pretty good looking fellow. It's our tour guide's hand. Okay, it's a model of the palace. This is the cathedral of the Dominus, 11th century. And the south gate here and the west gate, we enter into the palace. And then this is the temple of Jupiter and the statue of St. John the Baptist. I will show you a picture later. And then the north gate, it is the location, the east gate. And then there's a tower. I'll show you later. Okay, during our visit, there was a flower show in the basement of the palace. So we enter from the west entrance, and this is the flower show area. It's a lot of pretty flowers. And as we walk around, I noticed that on the ceiling there's a lot of holes like this. And I asked our tour guide, why, how come there's a lot of holes in the ceilings? He said it was for those folks living upstairs to dump their garbage. So they would dump it into the basement, and then people would later collect it from the basement. So I suspect that during that time in the basement there would be a lot of rats and smell and everything, so not present.
No dumb waiter.
Yeah, so, okay, around the palace, there are 14 of this kind of 4,000 years old sphinx. It's a gift from Egypt to the emperor, scattered around the palace. However, there are a bunch of them get damaged with their head knocked off and the feet knocked off. The tour guide said it was done by the Christian during the 5th century. When they took over Split. This particular cathedral, St. Dominus, was built as a mausoleum for the emperor. It's the inside of the mausoleum. Pretty nice looking. As we walk inside the mausoleum, I noticed that something's funny going on. As there's all these babies, they are without their male organs. I asked my guy, how come they all got knocked off on the babies? He said they were done by the Christians during the took over Split in the 5th century, because they said they are too obscene. So that's kind of funny. So how sad this baby don't have their organs. Okay, this is the what's the temple? Jupiter temple. Okay, yes, and the ceiling of the temple, And then this is a bronze statue of St. John the Baptist. Seems like St. John is a pretty skinny guy. Okay, as you know, there are a lot of ruins around the palace, and the people live there, and there are business there, and shops, and bank, and so forth. This particular bank was built around this palace ruins. So it's kind of funny. And this is at the East Gate. And there are some people playing guitar and singing for the tourists. And then there are a couple Roman soldiers playing with our friend Leonard. And the palace west wall towers still in pretty good shape too. Okay, Amy is sitting right on the narrowest street in Split. So it's about a couple feet wide. And it was during lunch hour, so we got a cafe and we have some sandwiches over there. And then after that, we get back to our bus. It's a very nice bus. The passengers sit on the top level, and then there's a stair going up there, and next to the stair is a restroom. So if you're in a hurry or emergency, you can visit the laboratory over there. As we drive through the Split town, we notice there's ancient aqueducts, and the tour guide said it's still in use. They ship water from kilometer away to the palace, the town area. So it was still built during the Roman times. Okay, now then we got to Dubrovnik. It's showing the old town, all lined up with the city wall, protecting it. And up the hill, there's a cable car you can take from this area all the way to the top and look around. Our hotel is located in this area, facing a very fancy looking modern bridge across the bay there. Okay, so Dubrovnik is located in southern Croatia, facing the Adriatic Sea, known as the Old Town and circled with the massive stone wall, completed in 16th century. It's well preserved. A lot of different periods of building inside, Baroque, Renaissance, Gothic buildings and stuff like that. And population right now is around 42,000. It's one of the most overpriced cities in Europe. I guess because of all these tourists going there. So a lot of cruise ships will stop there, and people will visit the old town. And a movie was made, Game of Thrones was filmed in Dubrovnik. And 1979 was added into the UNESCO World Heritage Site because of its outstanding medieval architecture and the fortified old town. However, the whole city is pretty much destroyed in the earthquake in 1667. And then in 1991, during Croatia War of Independence, Dubrovnik was sieged by the Yugoslav People Army for 7 months and suffered a lot of damage from the shelling. And then later on, they restored work done in 1900s and early 2000, and then become another tourist destination again. So, okay, here's a picture showing our hotel Pet. We stayed there for 4 nights, and we had dinner over there. And it's a picture showing the old town. This one is from the north, with the city gate, city wall around here. The highest point of the city wall is right at this location. This particular picture is looking from the south. with a little harbor, with a lot of boats, anchors here, and it's very scenic. Okay, the next morning, bus dropped us off the North Gate area. Our tour guide said, boy, if you guys come maybe 2 or 3 weeks later, this whole area will be jammed up with people. You can't even walk. So don't go during the July, August time frame with everyone visiting there. So we were there at the beginning of May, so not very crowded, so it's a lot easier to walk around. It's a picture.
Climate.
Huh?
How was the climate?
Climate? Oh, pretty pleasant. In May, it's around maybe 70 or so. Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, very, very pleasant. Yeah. We don't need even a jacket or anything. That's showing the very massive city walls. And it's a map showing the different route that you can visit the old town. The blue lines to show you the various points of interest inside the town, and then the red lines show you the city wall on the west side, and then I think the yellow line or here showing the east wall over there. This particular map shows you how much damage during the war between 1991 to 92. If you look closely, the filled up black triangle is the direct damage to the roof. It's plenty of them. And then the open triangle is the roof damage from the shrapnels. And then the dots are the damage in the pavement on the ground. And the red area, this area, the buildings all got burned down. So there are a lot of damage. That's why it took a few years to repair the whole old town. And that was during lunch hours also. So we found a restaurant and we had lunch over there. This showing one of the dinner plate, very pretty, with the map of this old town, and another picture of the city wall. And this I zoom with my camera to the hilltop area where the tram stopped. You can take this tram all the way up there and look around, but we didn't do that. Some umbrella for shade. Okay, here's a fountain right next to right after we go into the from the north gate. It's built in 1438. It's a water supply system. It brings water from a spring 12 kilometers away. Originally, the fountain was adorned with sculptures around it, but it was all damaged during the 1667 earthquake. And this area is, during our visit was fenced off because of the marathon being run in the morning at 11 a.m. Okay, here's our local guy. Show us around the old town. And this particular one is the old pharmacy inside the old town, still working. So you can buy drugs over there. So this is the main street with the bell tower and the clock tower at the end of the main street. Again, this tower is 31 meters tall, built in 1494, but was damaged in 1667. Entirely rebuilt in 1928, and then damaged again in another earthquake. So there are a lot of earthquakes in that area. And it's fenced off for the marathon. See, people running around here. On the street, there are this particular gypsy lady showing some parrots show on the street with a pretty colorful. Oh. Inside the old town is this church, Cathedral of the Assumption. It was built in 7th century. It's inside the church, kind of a typical church. And then this is the Rector Palace. Right now it's a history museum. And then at the end is the Sponsor Palace at the end of the main street. We didn't have time to go inside to look, but if you go there, have more time, you can check around. A couple of pictures showing some of the side street. It's very pretty with a lot of plants and lamps sticking out. And this particular funny tree climbed all the way up to the 4th floor. As you know, there are a lot of people who live in the old town, but they don't have their own cars because there's no street you can drive your car on, and then there's no garage. Okay, so you have to use public transportation living around that area. Okay, the picture showing the stair. You can go up to the wall, but you have to pay maybe $10 to walk around the city wall. So we didn't do that because we were too tired walking around all day already. So I just took a picture of the stairs. This is the highest point of the wall near the hill area. Another picture of the city wall, and this particular area has some kayak rental. You can rent one of the kayak and roll around the water here, so it's pretty pleasant. Okay, here's an overview of the old town. Show you the location of the north gate that we came in, and that's the fountain over there, and the stair to the wall is right there. And this particular building is the convent, monastery. And the main street is this here, and the clock and bell tower is right there. And the Cathedral of Assumption is right there. So there's a harbor, and the tramway is probably somewhere in this area. You can take the tram over there. Okay, after we walk around the old town around 3 or 4 o'clock, we